Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is Also Podcast Summer House Edition, Season 10, Episode 11. I mostly hate Amanda and Wes because they ruined this season for me. I can't unsee things.
And I don't think everything is a clue the exact same way that
No.
Scandival was, because Scandival legit was
actively happening
during, and I'm not sure. People are saying that they were sleeping together at this time. I'm not convinced of that yet. I'm not saying it's not a possibility, but either way, they're weird, and I don't like it.
I feel like I see a Cybertruck every time, and I just, like every single time. Did you watch Mia on Watch What Happens Live?
Absolutely.
That was a good one. She believes they were hooking up. I'm still not totally convinced, but I do think now everything Amanda does, I'm kind of like
side-eyeing.
Shady.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I wonder though if on Mia's perspective, if it's, she wasn't convinced that they were even hooking up. So once you get to that conclusion, like if that you're getting to that level of betrayal, we might as well go all the way. Like that's how I would feel about a friend. Like what couldn't you have done at this point?
No, it's quite interesting. And my favorite was that Joel, who was also on with her, and Mia both had like questions for the reunion. And they both asked my question, like, was it worth it? And what did you think was going to happen? My question is still, what was the conversation when you guys decided to move forward with this?
And posting the statement. Like I would want to be a fly on the wall of that stuff.
I wanted to be there when they sat down and said, this is worth us blowing up our lives. Let's really, and then they secretly do it. And then they're caught. And I want to be a part of the conversation when they go, okay, let us release a statement. Like both of those conversations to me are, I need that to be asked at the reunion. Andy, let me ask this question. Anyway.
Get me a genie, get me a lamp, let me rub it, and here are my 3 wishes from a genie.
Yeah, these are my 3 questions.
I want to know those 2, and I want to be with, like, their PR rep right now prepping for that reunion. Like, what are they being told to say?
I would love to be, like, at the entrance as everyone comes in, just to feel, because here's my thing. Before we get into the actual episode and go back in time, let's talk about Scamander or whatever we're fucking calling this. I don't know if they're embarrassed or like ashamed.
I don't think they are. The way they're moving right now in present day in the last 2 weeks tells me they're not embarrassed. And that makes me more embarrassed for them.
They went to the movies together recently, and they said, here's my other thing. They like stand outside for like if I'm being paparazzi'd because I'm in a scandal, I'm running into the movie theater. Why are they outside? Who are they waiting for? Their Uber?
That's
like what's happening?
In their first, public appearance being a bar crawl where then Amanda hides underneath a scarf, embarrassing. Go get coffee. I understand getting back to normal. I do understand that weirdly. But this isn't the version of normal. I agree with you. Why are you standing outside? Like, why are you dogpiling on yourself?
Yeah, I just don't know. And again, I wonder, can we shame them into can we shame them into breaking up? Can we shame, will it happen?
I think the side eye of, you guys are weird. The weirdness vibe, I think, will break them not up. I think the shame and the, I cannot believe you do this to your best friend only unites them more. Because they've already burned all the bridges. So then it keeps them together. But if we say, the public looks at you and says, Wes, you're weird on your own. Amanda, you're weird on your own. Your whole brands are weird. That's what I would think would make them change.
Okay. I just I don't know. I feel like something is suspicious. Anyway, before we get into the episode, check us out on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. All the links are in our description, and please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe. Okay, Meredith, you ready to do this episode?
Yes and no. I have so much to say, but I just can't believe this episode happened.
Okay, so previously on Summer House, Carl and Bailey are flirting and Lindsay's really pushing for them to date. Kyle didn't text Carl on his brother's passing anniversary. Kyle wants Carl to be more honest with him, but Carl struggles to share his real feelings. And then Ben is annoyed that Amanda told Sabrina that Ben is in love with Amanda, which I think I'm kind of Team Amanda on that one. That's relatively correct.
I just think it's a weird thing to say in general. Like, I'm on her side of, like, how Ben
It is
felt.
weird.
Like, it is true, but, like, to go to someone you don't know and be like, the guy you're interested in loves me is weird.
No, mostly strange because we all forget that Sabrina was dumped because she said, I love you, and Ben couldn't say it back.
Like, it's not weird for Amanda to say this to her friends. It's weird to say it to this girl.
Yeah. Like, I was talking to some girl in the office, and she's like, can you fucking believe Amanda said that to Sabrina? And I was like, I think it is kind of true, though. Like, I think it's weird. And she was like, were you, and like, I just think it's weird. And I was like, well, we all must remember Sabrina's, like, very upset because this was why Ben dumped her.
Sabrina, is overly upset
I get
and
Sabrina.
Triggered.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so it's Friday, August 15th, 9:43 p.m. We're golfing, and Ben and Amanda are talking. Amanda says she didn't think about the weight of her words, and she admits she could have thought about her words better. Ben says it's important because he's, like, falling in love with this girl. And Amanda's
God.
I'm sorry, this girl just showed up, and now you're in love, which, again, I align with Amanda on that one.
100% agree. On. Also, there was a weekend skipped. Not that 1 week adds anything better. I did figure this out after we recorded last week. Ooh. That there was an entire week because they played dodgeball with Volo, and then a weekend where they did cut it. I think 2 weeks is still weird to be in love with this person that you dumped a month ago.
Well, I understand y'all have dated, and then she says, I love you, and you were like, no, I have to run. And now you're like, actually, I do love her. I am in love.
We don't recognize that time, that month. That doesn't exist in the Ben and Sabrina world. It's like that couple in, like, college and high school that would break up and then act like they never broke up, and their anniversary was, like, their 4th anniversary, even though they've broken up 3 different times during that period.
And also, if you dumped her for not being in love with her, what was the magic moment that you're like, actually? Obsessed.
Really good point.
Obsessed. Like, that's my thing is, like, what changed? It's been, like, a month.
Yeah, because there hasn't been some big thing. Like, let's say he kissed another girl, and then it was like, wait a minute. Yeah. That, like, helped me realize that I do love Sabrina, or a really deep conversation. The conversation with Sierra at the winery, not that deep. Like, not profound. What was the thing?
His conversation was, I have commitment issues. And then he was like, actually, in love.
Maybe I should reach out to her.
Yeah. So Amanda says Ben's been super fucking single all summer. And now he's falling in love. And Amanda's like, he shouldn't be putting this on me. How dare me? How dare Ben? I'm married. Which I was like, that also really doesn't mean anything at this point. No. You're barely married. Anyway.
That's the thing. I don't think you saying you're married gives you a get out of jail free card. I think with Ben, there is not an issue between Amanda and Ben, in my opinion. Like, Ben's being weird. It's the same reason that we had with Bailey. You're the one causing this. Like, you need to fix your own side of the house. With Sabrina, weird conversation to have for Amanda 100%. To have with Sabrina. That's where they're like, ooh, sorry, I overstepped.
Can I also say, during this interview that Amanda's having, right? Didn't it seem a little like, oh, I know the Bravo sphere is anti-men, so I'm just going to say, how dare Ben? Because I'm like, there's multiple issues here. Like, yeah, Ben sucks. A lot of reasons. However, you bringing this up to Sabrina was nuts.
Yeah, that's not the reason to dislike Ben.
Like,
Ben's
she's like,
being
I
weird.
didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, well, a little.
Well, I do also find it inappropriate that you are heavily talking about this man who wants to sleep with you and you're flirting with him and going skinny dipping with him. I do find that weird. Like, the way you interact back, Amanda, that's weird to me.
But also clap back at him. Look at him and be like, look, all summer you have been flirty. I'm not the only one that notices it. Bailey said it at that dinner. And also there's supposedly a group chat that you wanted to hook up with me. Like, she should say, I shouldn't have said to Sabrina, but, like, don't act like you haven't played some role here. But instead she's like, no, totally agree. Apologize. And then in her interview, she's like, big tough. And I was like, well, sit on business.
Have you seen the comparison of West talking in interviews and this specific interview where they kind of mirror, like, the tone, the pacing,
a linguistic
the dramatics?
Said it. Yeah. Which I think was helpful because if it was just anyone, I'd be like, whatever. But some
it
woman...
just wasn't Amanda. Like, even if we didn't get the comparison, I was like, you're being weird in this interview.
She was being weird. I caught it. I was like, why is she speaking like she's never done an interview like that? I thought she was more trying to channel like a Paige and trying to be like, or like a
do her
Sierra.
Big one.
Yeah, trying to do like a Mia where she's like, I'm gonna say haha to these boys, but it didn't come across as natural. She was imitating someone. I don't know. Yes. Apparently West. I don't know who. I'm not a linguistic, but like, it was weird.
And her interviews are fine. Like, I don't think she needs to be some big character in the interview. Like, I remember once when, I think it was Lindsay and Carl had that fight in the Uber and Amanda had her notes. And, like, that was funny from Amanda's interview. Like, stop trying to be someone else. Like, just be you.
The linguistic said that she obviously has low self-esteem because she's trying to be someone else. And I was like, damn, psychology. I don't know anything.
I think we did know that. Even Amanda knew that.
We knew that. Yeah, we got that. Okay, so Ben says he knows Amanda's been down all summer, so he was just trying to make her feel good as a friend, but now this issue is coming up, and Amanda says in her interview that this man did want to fuck her in Italy, like his friends had to tell him that she had a husband. And she definitely played into it. She likes the attention, but shouldn't be turned around on her. But then to Ben, she apologizes, says she'll talk to Sabrina. Sabrina's coming tomorrow, so it works out and whatever.
I'm excited for this part at the reunion because where was all of this support whenever Bailey was getting yelled at for commenting on this? Like, why didn't we talk about it then?
Bailey deserves an apology. That's ridiculous. Okay, so it's 10:31 p.m. We're back at the house. Some people are staying in. We're maybe going to play games, but then some people want to go out. Everyone's very indecisive. But Amanda finds Sierra, and she tells her that Sabrina told Ben that Amanda said that Ben was in love with her. And Sierra's like, yeah, totally heard about that in the car. And Amanda doesn't remember saying that, but she's going to talk to Sabrina about it. And Amanda just feels really icky from the conversation. And then we cut to Kyle. He's feeling really hopeful about him and Amanda because she finally agreed to go to couples therapy.
I hate how he says that. She finally agreed, as if he's been begging her for weeks and months and years. She has already pitched this to you, my guy.
Exactly. So, as of right now, it's Dara and the boys are going out. So, Jesse and Wes go into Sierra's room, and Jesse's wearing Wes pants, and they're trying to convince the girls to go out, and then a condom falls out of the pants Jesse is wearing, which are Wes's pants. And they're like, oh my god, that's Jesse's like, that's not mine. I don't have condoms. And he's like, those are Wes's. And Sierra's like, of course.
It's interesting any of these guys would have condoms because none of them have gotten any girls this season.
No one's getting laid.
Why do you have that even? Any of you?
And then we convince the girls to go out, except Ben is going to stay back because he's going to talk on the phone with Sabrina and try and be a good boy. To which I was like, you don't like her then if you actively have to try not to hook up with other girls.
He's like, yeah, I'm going to try to be great this weekend. I'm going to be, like, respectful. And it's like, oh, so you can't go out and be a respectful boyfriend. Like, those are in direct competition of each other. Why is that?
Just say you're whipped and you want to stay in and talk to her. Hell yeah. That's, like, borderline kind of cute.
I don't think that's true. I think he's trying to prove that he's a great guy and he's pining after her.
Barf. Sorry. Barf. Absolute. Anyway. So 11:38 p.m., we're out here, we're partying, and then at 1:20 a.m., everyone comes back. Carl is first in the house, and he beelines into his room. And then everyone else comes in. Dara, Mia, KJ, Wes, Sierra, Jesse, and they let a bug in, which, nightmare. And then Sierra and Wes are making nachos, and he, again, will not stop touching her. He's holding her arm, and Jesse notices it, and he's like, Wes is probably still attracted to Sierra. However, Jesse tells us, as we know, Wes is not ready to settle down. And Jesse even says that Wes is going to be basically Kyle before he's ready to settle down, like some 50-year-old DJ. And it would probably be good if Wes and Sierra set boundaries.
I agree. I think Sierra has boundaries. I think she lets Wes cross them when they're drunk and out and having fun. Because on a normal day, I don't think she would, like, let Wes come in and, like, cuddle her in any regard. Like, that just wouldn't be happening.
You get a little drunk, and the guy you still kind of have a crush on, even though he did you wrong, is, like, giving you attention. And you're like, I guess we can make nachos together. But Jesse absolutely ate this up. He is like, this is a problem. Wes will never commit. Also, he's basically Kyle in younger form, which
I mean,
ate him. No crumbs.
This episode,
no crumbs,
is the storyteller of the modern, like, current day. Like, how did he know all of these things? And like, the prophecy he is speaking is crazy to me.
So then we have drunk shenanigans. KJ hits Dara in the face with some lunch meat. She chases him around. And then it's time for bed, and Wes and Sierra do this little thing where they flirt across the hall, and they, like, look at each other. Oh, my God, I want to punch them in the face. I want to punch him.
That pissed me off way more than the, like, touching her arm in the kitchen, because, like, you're actively, like, seeking her out, and if she would have caught you looking, that means something, in my opinion.
It means we're probably going to bed together.
You're, like, thinking about me as we're going to bed, wanting me, pining after me, and that's clearly not what's going on in West's head. So cut the shit, cut the games.
So it's Saturday, August 16th. We get no time and honestly no date. I only assume the date. So whatever,
get it
Bravo.
together, Bravo.
House is starting to wake up. Mia and Sierra chat. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. This was so... I love Mia. I think she's like the best addition in a long time. But Mia says she had a really terrible dream that her parents were alive and she was begging her mom to come visit her. And she gets really emotional because then she has to wake up and know that it wasn't real. But she was like talking to her deceased parents. And Mia talks about how amazing her mom was and how the dream really broke her heart. And it's like a really intense time for her because Scott's life is getting bigger. He's traveling more. But she's looking for someone to give her guidance on like what to do in her next moment. Which,
oh my God,
this crushed me. I'm very close to my mom, and this would just, like, absolutely send me.
It's so hard because what a joy it probably is to, like, see your parents in your dreams and be able to have that connection, but then you have to wake up and your heart is broken all over again, knowing that they're not actually Earthside with you, and then to need your mom and, like, the closest person to you for advice in this time. It's just all these heartbreaks back to back, and it is probably like a cloud hanging over her head of these decisions and these thoughts and what would my mom say constantly.
And the dream was her begging her mom to hang out. And her mom said she can't. Oh my God, no. That is like my nightmare.
You've read The Long Game, right? The Heated Rivalry series? This made me think of, spoiler alert for people, fast forward 10 seconds, about Ilya and his dream and him like constantly wanting his mom to like meet Shane. Like, oh my God, I cannot imagine what that is like to like lose your parents before a bunch of big milestones happen and like wanting them to be there and their advice and their guidance through difficult times.
Oh my God, I'm like getting emotional thinking about it. We gotta go.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
She wants to see a medium. Which I think
that.
I really like that. I have a friend whose brother recently passed and she saw a medium and she just feels like a lot better after talking. Oh. I think for a lot of people it helps.
Yeah.
I would be open to seeing a medium, I think. Someone asked me if I would do it right now and I was like, no offense to everyone I know who has died, but there's not many people I think like wouldn't make me I don't have anything. I don't have much to say. I don't have much to say right now. Like, and I'm blessed that I don't have much to say.
Yes.
But
or like what I need from them. Like, no offense to the people who have passed in my life. It's not like the closest people in my inner circle by any means where it's like I'm longing for a specific conversation. Like, loved the people I've known dearly and like, you know, it's not a parent, it's not a best friend, you know, like it's not one of those confidants in my life. I will say selfishly, I would love to see this on camera with Mia because I am fascinated by it. Like, I would love to watch that.
I mean, we grew up the Long Island medium. All I did, I was like,
get her in, honestly.
Get this woman to walk up to me and go, you know, someone who's died. Because that's what she would do. It was the craziest.
That happened on the Valley Persian Style with one of the cast members. Yeah.
That was actually no. Like someone walked up to him.
They invited the person. It was the whole group went on a cast trip, and they like gave a reading basically to everybody, and one of the cast members' first wife passed away from cancer. They never got to have kids. And so then the second wife, like she had kids with him and is on this trip. And so it was like a conversation about the first wife saying, I see you, like I'm watching you, like I'm so happy you got the kids we never got to have. Like it was really emotional.
Wait, I hate that. But for a long time growing up, I don't hate that. I say it like I'm going to cry and I'm trying to hold it back. But for a long time growing up, my fear was like someone coming up to me in the grocery store and being like, someone you know has died and is trying to reach you, and me being like,
a message.
Oh my God, ew, no, please. I didn't ask.
I couldn't do it at one of those public forums, like the Long Island Medium started doing, like, you know, like tours.
No,
and it's
I
like,
don't want to know.
I don't need that. I want it to be a
It
one-to-one, or like me
private.
and two friends experience.
Yes.
Like, we don't need to all publicly
The other thought
this.
is, what if you agree to it and then they're like, no one has stepped forward, and I'd be like, okay. Shout out to
something bad to say. What if they were like, hey, when you did that,
your great grandparents are incredibly disappointed in you, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
fuck you, yeah. What do I
like,
do
what
now?
do I say to that? Sorry
Bye.
that I'm a degenerate single woman, and you thought I'd have kids by now. Like, what do you want from me?
Your grandparents are like, we're glad we died because we couldn't keep waiting for you, and you're like, oh. All right. And then everyone hears it and you're like, never mind, I must go.
You're like, the shame upon me.
What a
Thank
nightmare.
you so much for the public like bashing.
Sorry, Mia, this was never a serious podcast. This was always jokes. This was always jokes. I'm so sorry. So sorry for your loss. Please see a medium. Anyway,
we will
move.
take that seriously.
Yeah. Sabrina is on her way down right now. Wes and Jesse talk about how, like, Ben's a totally different human ever since 5 minutes ago when he brought Sabrina in. Which, anything Jesse Sullivan has said this episode, I'm on board with. Because Jesse's even like, here's the tea.
Yeah.
They've known each other for 4 months. So out of that, for 1 month, they've been broken up, right? So they dated for 3 months. They broke up. In June, they go get coffee, and then second date is Lindsay's housewarming party. They haven't separated since, and they did PDA at this housewarming party?
No. In what world is that happening?
No, I'm aligned with Jesse. I'm so sorry. I'm aligned with Jesse.
Couldn't agree more. I will go stream one round of his song just for this incredible storytelling of this episode, because that is everything I have been feeling. In what world are we doing this quickly? And Jesse knows a quick relationship, but he has spent more time with what's her name from last season than Ben has.
And also, like, for him to then come, like, to the summer house and be like, she's coming, and everyone behave because I'm in love now. Hey, man, it's not our fucking problem, okay? You're not in love. We have full reign to do what we've been doing at the summer house.
Yeah, why are we changing, and why are you changing as a person? Because, like, you're quote-unquote in love now. Now, as in, like, 2 days ago.
4 weeks ago, you were out of love. So far so that you ran. Which, again, I get. He could have been feeling it and just, like, had the commitment issues. But then to jump in on the other side of the pool so deep, that's take a breath. You know what I mean?
And the whiplash that West is having over this shows how crazy this is. He's like, I go to Italy for 1 weekend, and this is what happens?
Ben's married. Why can't Ben just say, like, I've rekindled with Sabrina, and now we're giving it another go? Why is it I'm immediately in love?
Well, I wonder if she would not give him the time of day unless it was, like, serious. Like, he was so serious. But it's like, then he's faking it. He is faking this, in my opinion.
This was crazy. I can't follow. Anyway, we do find out that Sabrina loves rock and roll, and she has chill hippie vibes. That's coming from Jesse.
West hates it.
This is like, I hate it. What are you talking? Rock and roll and chill hippie vibes? Neither of which ways would I have described Sabrina in the 5 seconds I've seen her on my screen. Chill hippie vibes?
She gives more chill hippie vibes than the rock and roll.
No, she gives me.
I would say boho. I would say boho, but I don't think that Jesse knows what that means.
She gives, what did Jesse say to Lexi when he's like, are you kind of a ditz or whatever he said?
Oh my God.
That's
yeah.
kind of, not to be rude, but that was kind of the vibe Sabrina gave because she walked up to all these girls and was like, I'm obsessed with you. Our
Girl
energies,
has no social skills.
Our energies are combining in the universe. And I'm like, that seems off.
You know what? Now that I think about it, Amanda's comments about Ben being in love with her, with like Amanda, are not as weird because Sabrina walked up and was like, I know your marriage is in shambles. So like weird comments came first from Sabrina.
Yeah.
So Amanda just gave it right
That's
back.
true. Amanda was like, how does she know about my marriage? And so Sabrina said, I heard your marriage is in shambles. And Amanda says, it sure is. That's why it's been nice to have Ben around because he's in love with me.
Yeah.
Boom.
She matched that energy.
Boom. Actually, go Amanda. Point for Amanda. No, I don't like dislike Sabrina. I just haven't enjoyed the energy I've gotten so far. You have to make a good first impression on my TV screen.
Agreed.
Like,
because if I saw this energy come into Lindsay's, if I was at Lindsay's party and you and I watched this from afar, I would be gossiping about Sabrina for the rest of my life.
I'd be like, did you see how that normie came in so hot to the Bravo celebrities and is like sucking their asses? That would immediately be my take.
100%.
And did you see her say Amanda's marriage is in shambles? That was hilarious. Little does she know.
Her and Ben are making out apparently in like high PDA. Like, what are we doing
and
here?
We would have said, I thought Ben was in love with Amanda. No. This is why we're not invited. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, it's 11:47 a.m. We're outside by the pool. Jesse's like, hey, everyone, we're going to do a Vegas-style pool party today, and the setup is extremely minimal. And Jesse loves Vegas, and he loves minimalistic shit that he doesn't have to do a lot, which is lovely.
This is a terrible party. This is giving the kid who goes to his mom and says, I have a project due tomorrow. We have to go to Walgreens and get a poster board.
It was a small, intimate party where people just had... What is a Vegas pool party, you might ask? You just have to look hot.
That's about it. Need bottle service.
Could probably get away with no bottle service.
A velvet rope is apparently all we needed.
Yeah, no bouncer, I might add, which seemed like a loss.
No, we had a VIP area
no bouncer.
That everybody sat in because there were approximately 40 people at this party.
Also, can I just say, this looked like couches, and to me, there's nothing worse than being sweaty and outside and then sitting on a couch.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You're not wrong.
So, you know, though, speaking of sitting, West sits on Amanda, and as we know, West only sits on someone if he has a crush on them.
Dude.
Sierra should have clocked it immediately. I was like, holy, why is he sitting on her?
I know. I wonder if producers clocked that, similar to how they had weird vibes about Vanderpump Rules whenever they were actually filming it. Granted, Sierra's note about the sitting on was in her interviews. Yeah. So, like, I think that they've already been like, oh, we're locking in on that video, even if nothing weird was happening, to be like, oh, yes. West isn't interested in Sierra because he sits on Amanda too, but it actually is the opposite. West is interested in Amanda because he sat on her.
Exactly. So it's time to do minimal setup for this Vegas party. Amanda chats with Bailey a little bit, and Bailey is like, did you see that Carl was giving me golf lessons? Did you see it? And Amanda's like, I didn't, but that sounds great. And Bailey's like, I just always want to be around Carl. And she gets tingles for Carl.
I don't need to hear that about Carl, I'm going to be honest. I don't need to hear about fanny flutters.
Just because we don't get fanny flutters from Carl doesn't mean some nice girl isn't going to.
I know, but I will always have some level of an ick for Carl. So then when people talk about they're like falling for him, I just can't do it.
I decided I mostly have an ick with him when he's with Lindsay. Like,
yeah, it's
whenever they were dating, he was such an ick. And then anytime he's around her now, giving her a book awkwardly, what an ick. But every other time he's like, I don't get flutters or anything, but I'm like, it's more tolerable. It's fine.
I like him in one-on-one settings. I think he is really, really good like that.
Agreed. I also had an ick from him when he was overly drunk. And we're past that. So this is the best Carl.
You know what? You're right. You know, we fixed the really big drinking issue, and now we can just, move through the Lindsay scenes and enjoy the one-on-ones.
I have a friend watching them now, and she is so horrified. And I'm like, if it would have been even yuckier if you had known Carl before, because she started at season 8. I was like, if you had known him before and you already had like a weird vibe about him because of him dating Lauren Warkis, And like, oh, it just got worse.
Spending years thinking about that man. Like, people may watch all the seasons and understand all the like context, but they will never understand the years of experience of dealing with Carl. Like, you got 3 months of it. I've had 10 years.
Yeah, a lot of years.
I came in on season 4, but whatever.
But still, we've had a lot of years.
Yeah.
We add years because we've dissected. This adds to the... we basically have 20 years of Summer House. Okay, but Amanda can see Carl and Bailey working. Carl needs a weird, quirky girl that doesn't take life too seriously, and Bailey needs someone who is thoughtful and caring, which...
I'm the most on board after seeing that little graphic. I was like, okay, they could... I don't believe they're dating, but they could be dating, and I'm more on board.
Agreed. So Bailey wants Carl to ask her out, because every time they've hung out, she initiates it. And Amanda's like, yeah, but maybe Carl just, like, wants to be wanted. And I was like, no, Carl should buck up and reciprocate a little bit.
I agree, but he doesn't have a track record of ever pursuing people. He has always been the one who just, like, casually will, like, invite someone into the pantry a la Paige, but he didn't text her on the weekdays, so I'm worried about this. I don't think it's going to move forward because Carl doesn't have initiative to, like, make it happen.
Disagree. Sober Carl, post Lindsay, has gone up to Sierra, who he knew didn't like him, and said, hey, I have a crush on you. And it was an ick. That for sure gave me a big ol' ick. But he did it still. And he did it in his green, ugly-ass Balenciaga slides, probably. No, he didn't. But
I don't think he did it in those. But he's done it one time in how many years? You know what? He did initiate a little bit with Lil last season. Like, he invited her out. He asked her on a date.
That weird girl with the lemon. Yes.
Yeah, so he has it in him, but I do believe he wants to be chased, or he would be okay with Bailey, like, doing all the legwork.
I think he's slightly unsure about Bailey because she kind of does this awkward flirting with everyone.
Yeah,
but it's just
true.
her because she can't flirt. So you don't know if she's she's flirting with Amanda right now as much as she flirts with Carl, you know? And also, I don't think Carl, like, is used to a woman being so forward. Like, oh, look at my boobs in my golf swing. And Carl's like,
that's true.
I respect women. You know what I mean?
Because Lindsay's level of forward was a lot different, too.
Lindsay was like, I'm just going to grab you and make out with you, too.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay.
I'm in.
Yeah, I guess. But Amanda says Carl loves communication, which we know. So she's like, you should just communicate exactly this with him. Which I will. Carl is the one person you do not have to filter your thoughts with. Just tell him how you feel.
I think if she takes the initiative on breaking the real ice of, like, I want to pursue something with you, let's start dating, he would ask her out and do the legwork of the date.
I agree. Once he is secure that this isn't going to blow in his face. Yep. Okay, so it's 1:47 p.m. Sabrina's here, and Amanda is prepping to talk to Sabrina. She's, like, way more nervous than I think she should be. She's like, should I do it? Should I do it as soon as she walks in? I should.
She's weird about it.
Mia's like, just grab her and do it.
Yeah. All you have to do is say, sorry I said that in front of you. That, like, was rude of me.
Yeah. So Sabrina says hello to everyone, and then she sits down right next to Sierra, and they are instant biffles, these two. And Sabrina invited Sierra to coffee after the housewarming party, which, okay, this is an unlikely pair, truly. Sierra says she's trying to be less rigid, and she sees Sabrina as someone that's totally the opposite of her. Like, Sabrina is, according to Sierra, very open, very, like, warm, says whatever she's thinking. Sierra is like, I'm trying to welcome more people into my life as I try to be less rigid. So
I think that's beautiful for both of them.
Sure thing. I'm still unsure on Sabrina at the moment.
100% unsure. Great. I still find her weird, but, like, great. Way to ask her to coffee. Way to get to know her. Sierra likes you. Fine.
Weird, but almost seems like a diehard fan in a way of, like, she'll kill for you. So, like, maybe do let her into your circle because she might do anything for you. You know
she did post 3 times about her support of Sierra in this scandal.
See, if Amanda and West end up dead, I'm gonna point at Sabrina because I think that's a loyal ass bitch.
I'll also protect Sabrina, and I won't
I'll
fully
have to.
publicly name names.
I'll have to, but I'll know. I'll have my suspicions.
I wouldn't say anything.
I'll be suspicious, but I know. So then Amanda stands up and she's like, hey, give me your hand. Can I pull you inside? And they hold hands the whole way in. This is yuck. And so I want to be so clear. This whole conversation sent me to a place I didn't
hated it. I hated every single point of it on both sides.
Great. So in her interview, the producer asked Sierra, did you talk about Amanda at coffee? And Sierra's like, yeah, we did. It was just a bad first interaction. And so Amanda and Sabrina go into Ben's room. Immediately, Amanda's like, hi, how are you? You look so pretty. I love you. I'm sorry.
What's with the bullshit? I hated it.
This is what Amanda says. I'm sorry for catching you off guard and wasn't trying to share information that I shouldn't be talking about. What is she talking about? If I was Sabrina, I'd be like, excuse me? Are you mixing me up with someone else you need to apologize to? Because I'm here looking for an apology that you said that my boyfriend, who I love, is in love with you. What do you mean? Took me off guard and shared information you shouldn't have shared. What's the secret?
This is a very wordy way of Amanda to not take any accountability. Not that she needs to eat any crow or really die on the sword, but it's about knowing that this was inappropriate to say, but you don't apologize for just that you said it. You have to somewhat eat crow and pretend oh my God, I'm so sorry that I said that, that's, it's not true. That's the nice thing to do.
No, and so she says, I'm sorry I repeated things you shouldn't have known. Basically.
She literally is the message still stands. Your boyfriend is in love with me.
I just shouldn't have told you.
I'm just sorry that I'm the one who had to deliver that.
Yeah. And Sabrina's like, yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot, actually. But apparently Amanda and Sabrina are, very connected.
Wait, what?
Their energy is, really great. So when Amanda said this, it took Sabrina back. But then Sabrina's like, hey, girl, don't sweat it. And it is the single weirdest conversation I have seen two adults have in a long time.
They're both weird. I don't like them. I don't like their energy. And why, if Sabrina was annoyed by being this being said, I would not think that I have good energy with someone who is telling me that my boyfriend or the guy I'm pursuing is in love with them. We do not have good energy the minute you say that.
Has Amanda ever apologized for something one-on-one?
I don't know.
Because the way she was freaking out about it, and then, the way she, hey, sit down, hi, I love you, you look so pretty, welcome to the house, I'm sorry, I took you off guard. It all seemed like I've never apologized before, I don't know how to do it.
And then I'm not actually sorry, I'm just, doing this formal thing for the show of it.
Yeah, I don't want to be in trouble. So I'll just do this. And also, I'm a girl's girl.
I'm very concerned about this reunion, if this is the Amanda who apologized for something so minute.
Because I'll admit, I'm genuinely awkward when I apologize one-on-one. But I would say, hey, I want to talk to you. I'm going to be a little awkward. I apologize. This is uncomfortable. But I am sorry that I did this thing or I said this thing. Instead, I would never look at someone that I know actively has an issue with me and be like, hey, beautiful, how's it hanging? I'm so excited you're here. Sorry I said something you shouldn't have known. Sorry I spilled secrets.
That's crazy. Secrets is crazy.
That's what it happened. I just summed up this whole conversation. Sorry I spilled secrets. It's okay, girly.
Sorry you found out something you shouldn't have known.
Yeah, you would have only found out when the show aired. My bad.
So true. This is
so
all filmed.
Nothing is getting past. Anyway, this was weird. So it's 1:54 p.m. Bailey and Carl have a little chat. Bailey's drinking a tequila soda. Carl's like, oh, is that your drink of choice? And Bailey's like, no, I'm actually a whiskey girl, which never would have guessed. Girl who gets dumped at Sweet Green, never would have guessed whiskey, but shout
We're really
out.
building out the layers to this character.
Wow. And Carl's like, I loved whiskey, but it made me into a flaming asshole. And then we get one of my favorite clips, and it's when Carl looks at Lauren and goes, AB, let's see what my D can do for the E, so go F you in the G. And I remember watching it and going, What? I was like, identify the letters.
I love when Carl can talk about his drinking in the, like, light chaos he caused. Like, obviously, like, very destructive, drunk. But this light chaos was so funny back in the day.
Because Lauren gave him the same look as everyone did. It was, what? But you're just we all just heard the go F you, and we were like, whoa.
I mean, he kind of ate with it, though.
I still don't know what this means.
It's reminding me of the Kourtney Kardashian, like, ABCDFG away from me.
Yeah. I have to go. Like, it was just so good. So Carl tells Bailey, like, last night when he was talking to Kyle, he just wishes, like, him being able to express his emotions was easier. And he saw Kyle's drink and he smelt it. And he said, like, look, I know that if I had a bottle of rosé and a line of cocaine, I could tell Kyle how I really feel. And Carl is very aware of what he's feeling. And so he doesn't always have the confidence to be honest because he's very aware of how other people may feel if he is. And he just struggles with people who have a very alpha personality. Like, he shares his grandfather had an alpha personality and he didn't necessarily have a great relationship with him. So he's just, he's struggled with people with dominating personalities, which this is not funny, but what the fuck was he doing with Lindsay then? I was like, I kind of laughed a little just going, then what were we? Yeah. Were you just one date you were so scared after and you're like, I guess we're engaged? Like, what was happening?
I think that really makes sense why he kept asking her to be soft. That long-standing friendship is what he loved. Yeah. But the person she is does not mix well with him. And so I can see how they had a lot of conflict, but it wasn't spoken aloud. This is how Lindsay was blindsided. Yeah. Carl was feeling all of these things. Mm-hmm. He knew what he wanted. He knew the issues. Yeah. But he struggles with actually saying those out loud. Mm-hmm. And that's something he really needs to work on. That is not on anybody else. It is not for Kyle to, like, be softer with him, to be able to, like, he needs to be able to accept what somebody is saying. Like, Kyle and Lindsay do need to be open to hearing what Carl is saying, but they don't need to change who they are. Carl needs to change his level with conflict.
I also think Carl needs to, and we've talked about this, needs to communicate his feelings better. Instead of looking at Lindsay and saying, can you be softer with me? He should have looked at Lindsay and said, hey, like, your really dominant personalities do affect me negatively. Can you try to, and I'll try to also meet you halfway and understand that's who you are, or something, right? Because like I've said, Kyle is a dominating personality, and he doesn't know how Carl is really feeling.
No.
And, like, Kyle maybe should, but also, like, I think Kyle is so wrapped up in his own world that unless you say something to him,
he can't read your mind.
He can't.
It's not for him to do at all. And the fact
Carl
that
knows this.
I'm happy Carl knows his feelings and he knows the issues, but it's that last step of being able to, like, change that. Because I'm someone who I didn't know my emotions for so long. So that's why I couldn't have conflict with people, is like, I didn't know what was going on. But now I'm in a similar boat to Carl where, like, I do know what's going on. But it's hard to start doing that when you've never been that person. But you got to take the leap. It's scary because I'm sure I'm going to make an assumption on Carl. I think he assumes people are going to react probably like his grandfather did and, like, be really mean and physical. And that is not every person who has a dominant personality. But I understand the fear. And I really appreciate how much, like, Carl walked us through very concisely just in that conversation with Bailey. Like, that was so eye-opening for me.
Yeah, it explained a lot. So, yeah, Carl says Kyle is intimidating to him. And, like, Carl has always looked up to Kyle and does feel like he owes Kyle something because, in a way, Kyle saved his life. And we get a flashback to when Carl was becoming sober and he was struggling. Kyle was the one that had the hard conversation and said, like, look, you are struggling and, like, I don't care about the business. I don't care about the show, but, like, you need help and I'm here for you for that. Which is not an easy conversation at all.
No, and he really did go into that into his book. Like, the emotion that he had during that time, or, like, speaking about that time, which was, I believe it was January 2021. And, like, he was very honest about what that experience was like. And it was not specifically triggered off of, like, January 6th, but, like, I think there were a lot of people who were going through an emotional time on that day. But that, like, led him to going into a bender that honestly should have killed him. It's wild how honest he was about that. And Kyle, like, coming and sitting with him and, like, talking with him really did change things. And you can see that has a lot of weight on Carl, that he feels indebted to Kyle over that, when he shouldn't.
He shouldn't.
He should respect Kyle for, like, being a pivotal person in his life. But Carl's emotions and his feelings and his needs are just as deserving as anything Kyle needs. And, like, Kyle doesn't get passes just because he saved your life one time. Or, like, many times.
I think you can, like, Carl could, if he is scared to, like, confront Kyle, meet Kyle with a little more understanding, right? Like, if you really feel indebted, you still have feelings that you can express to him. And if you do, like, maybe just be a little more patient if, like, that's someone you really care about. It's the same thing if you have, like, a sibling you don't get along with, but, like, that's your sibling. So you extend a little extra love and care in that relationship than you would, like, an acquaintance, right?
Yeah.
But, like, Carl still should communicate. And Kyle, I think, wants him to, but Kyle has never in their whole relationship really communicated with Kyle.
Yeah, a big thing I struggled with is, like, I always thought it was two sides of the spectrum, being selfless or selfish. And so you feel that if you bring up your stuff and you don't just, like, swallow the pain and the issues, that you're being selfish. And it's not selfish to, like, put your needs and express your feelings to other people. It's actually kind of selfish to not share with other people what's going on, because that's creating resentment. Like, Kyle can tell there's something going on and that he's not saying it fully, but you're telling all these other people, and that's not fair to Kyle, to be honest. Like, for all these other people to know the issues except for the one person you're actually having it with. So it's not 100%. This, like, either or. Like, it's finding the comfortability in that you're not a bad person for sharing your own feelings, issues, you know, judgments, or, like, critiques with someone else.
Yeah, definitely. But Kyle is Carl's best friend, ride or die. But Carl knows not telling the truth is probably hurting more than helping. But Carl just wants more effort from Kyle. So I think that's, like, a good place to start in a conversation. But
I agree.
Whatever. Men can't communicate ever. Anyway, it's 2:06 p.m. We're getting ready for the Vegas party. Amanda talks with me and Sierra. She's like, hey, I had the conversation with Sabrina. Amanda still feels a little off from it. She feels like everyone hates her, and Sierra has to remind her, like, no one feels that way, and they're reassuring her. But Amanda just doesn't like that she made anyone feel that type of way with her words or her actions. And Sierra tells her, like, it's okay. You're going to fuck up and have to apologize. Oh, this is... Meredith, stop looking at me like that. I'm getting through the scene. Let me get through the scene.
I know. I'm holding my tongue.
Amanda just feels stupid. And then Sierra tells her everyone says dumb shit. But also, Amanda is really used to being beaten down into thinking that her opinions or feelings are stupid by Kyle. And so Sierra says Amanda doesn't realize her magic. And then Sierra gets emotional because she loves Amanda so much. And, like, they hug. And
Sierra tears up.
Because of how much she loves Amanda, yeah.
Yeah.
So, damn, fuck you, Amanda. What was this?
It's so layered because it's wild that exactly what Amanda is saying, like, oh, I just feel so bad if I ever hurt someone. I don't believe you. I don't think you do. Because how do you turn around and in 6 months' time do this, give the fake-ass statement that you gave the second weird-ass statement you gave, and not publicly apologize to the person who is going through this in the scene with you 6 months prior?
And you don't really seem that torn up about it in public. So
No.
My other thing, it's like, okay, you feel this bad for making a stupid comment that's, like, kind of true that you, like, probably shouldn't have said, but you literally are now dating in a, let's say in Amanda's head, a committed relationship with a guy who wouldn't commit to your friend but led her on in multiple situations, then she still feels a way about it, and you know that based off the summer, and you feel less bad. You still decide, you still sit down with Wes and go, yeah, we should still do this. Like, what is the math?
That's a two-parter. Like, she hooked up with Wes, or was hooking up with Wes, and then Sierra finds out, and you continue it. That's a dual decision right there. Of,
you
like,
say,
I did it anyways. in theory, based on what you're saying, in this summer is when you feel bad, you like don't want people to feel bad, and like you want to apologize and all of this stuff.
You never want to hurt someone with your actions.
You know it hurts Sierra, and now you're going to be like, sorry, babe, it hurt you. I'm going to keep on rolling with it, though.
I'm going to release a joint statement with him and say, this is a real thing. Sorry he couldn't commit to you, Sierra, but this is real. That is like the most hurtful thing. If my non-committal situationship that I was really into could commit to one of my friends.
And she committed back?
That's crazy. See, this is so crazy. I think it's really crazy for a lot of people. And, like, I know a lot of people, or some people are like, why is it that big a deal? It's not even a big deal. Like, whatever, fine. But I think it's a big deal to those of us who, A, would never do that, or B, couldn't imagine someone in their life ever doing that. Like, my friends, I will die on this hill, and if I am wrong, someone's dying by my hands, would never do this to me. Never.
I could conceptualize Scandival. Like, I understand cheating. I got it.
I got it.
How every party got there. I don't get how we're here in present day and continuing with Amanda and Wes. My brain cannot make the connection happen. The string isn't aligning. Like, none of this, you could tell me every single day what they did and how they got here, and I don't think I would understand it still. I
think the thing that's tripping me up, right, is with Scandival, I had like kind of not a low opinion of Raquel, but I knew she wasn't a girl's girl, right? I knew that she would. I didn't think she'd hurt Ariana, but I knew she would hurt another woman. Like, she was already doing it with Katie and Schwartz. Like, that was, I got that.
And like the relationship between Ariana and Sandoval, like, it's been 10 years. I understand how people get tired of their relationships and cheat on their partner.
Well, it's been like 10 years for fucking
I know.
Amanda.
Yeah, but that's not the issue. That's not the injured party. Kyle is not the injured party here.
But I think the reverse of that is, like, Amanda, we had faith in, right? Like, we were like, it was kind of the same thing with Tom Sandoval. Like, we had this, like, we were fucking rooting for you.
Yeah.
And look what you've done. And this time it's like, we were rooting for both of you in a weird fucking fucked up way. And you fucking did this. And, like, how could you do that to your fucking best friend when you sit here and you preach about being a girl's girl and you're all torn up about fucking Sabrina, who you just met 7 minutes ago, but you have a full conversation about Sierra, who literally is sitting here telling you about the magic you have. She's crying because she loves you so much, and you had a conversation with the man she likes to be like, yeah, we should move forward with this. Like, I could talk about this. It gets me so riled.
Remember the season 8 reunion when Paige looked at West and was like, we understand the magic of being famous and all of this, but, like, what is better than Sierra? We're her best friend and we see the magic of her. I think the same thing about the friendship of Amanda and Sierra. You looked at the magic of that friendship and said, nah, I want this white boy who can't commit, who, like, is out on the town, apparently sleeping with all these other people, and you said, that's what I want.
Yeah, I just can't understand it, because honestly, because you're not going to sit here and tell me Wes and Amanda are in love. That's crazy. But even if I liked a guy, if I'm Amanda, I like this guy, I would put my feelings down and be like, I'm picking my friend. I don't care if I like you. I'm choosing my friend each and every time. I would rather be unhappy with my love life than make my best friend unhappy with her and lose her.
Every single day.
Did you ever see the play Hamilton, or the musical Hamilton? Everyone did. Okay, you know how Angelica literally is like, even though I'm in love with the Hamilton, my sister likes him, I would step back. Without a doubt in my mind, I would do the same thing.
But let's say Amanda's not, like, as amazing of a person as you are. Let's say a drunken moment happens, they hook up, they make a mistake. It's that every single day since, it's constantly a mistake. She's constantly choosing West. That's what I don't get, is the joint statement and the moving forward with it all. Because your friendship, your brand, like, who you are in the public eye even. Let's say you don't give a shit about Sierra. You don't care about yourself.
Well,
nobody likes you guys.
It's crazy. Did you see the Jimmy John's ad?
I didn't. It didn't even look like her.
No, I have no idea who that woman is.
I don't know who Amanda Batula is in 2026.
It popped up and someone was like, have you seen the comments? And I was like, what are we commenting about? Who is this? And I was like, oh my God. It took me until Jersey Mike said something like, Team Sierra. I was like, wait a minute.
Because somebody first commented Jersey Mike's and said Mike would never do this.
Mike would never do it to Sierra. And I was like, oh my God, jump scare Amanda. Who are we? She's in hiding now. That's her disguise, so we don't recognize her. I'm just kidding.
She's not. She's making out with her boyfriend at a restaurant.
Oh my God. Okay, so it's 2:44 p.m. It's Vegas party time. The bartenders and the bottle girls are here with a sign, and Jesse and Wes are like, let's make the sign Ben's last ride, because Vegas bachelor parties. So we have this party. Wes invited 96 people in an hour, and one of those people is a really hot girl, to which Jesse is like,
bro, oh no.
Bro, you have one job, and it's to, like, not anger the house.
That's the thing. It's like I would not be mad if at a night out, Wes met someone, he like does an away game. It's that you want to come in this house and do it in her face after how you've been acting this entire summer, let alone the night before.
I am not mad he invites a hot girl. It is what he does with this hot girl in the house.
And where?
I think it's great to debate, right? Okay, so we have this party. Great. Wes and Amanda discuss how Ben is basically married. They have this little moment in the kitchen that everyone's analyzing now, and how weird it is that Ben has been single this whole time. And Wes is like, Amanda, I'm happy you got in trouble for something, and yuck. Anyway, it's time to party. Bailey just wants to flirt with Carl, but she's like, I don't want, like, to bring up that we should date because he's kind of going through it with Kyle, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. Which she's so very awkward. Considerate. Yeah, they don't talk at all in this party.
No.
The boys go on this floaty table, which was my favorite.
I don't get how that is supposed to work. It cannot hold anything up.
Well, KJ jumps in and, like, pushes Kyle in the pool, and Kyle pops him and he goes, damn it, KJ. I couldn't stop laughing. But the boys have this little powwow, and Kyle's like, I want to have a smooth end of the summer. I know Kyle's upset, but I wish Kyle would, like, communicate more with me. Or Carl would communicate more with me. Because Kyle knows something's off with Carl, right? But, like, if Carl's not telling him, there's only so much Kyle can do.
Yeah.
But Jesse's like, yeah, Carl is sad and angry. And Jesse, again, I don't know what philosopher Jesse became, but he says, friendships ebb and flow. And, like, the relationship of Kyle and Carl's, friendship has always kind of been Kyle's, I think, a little older. But Kyle was, weirdly enough, more mature than Carl in the early seasons. And then Kyle gave Carl a job. And so it's very, like, a power dynamic.
It definitely is. I like that Jesse pointed that out to him.
Which, it makes total sense, especially if you watch the old season. Somehow they are the same age, and Carl is 10 years younger.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
And I don't think Kyle's doing anything to impose that by any means, but it's just, like, the innate dynamics when you've worked for someone else, and the, like, he saved my life, quote unquote.
It's how it's always been, and, like,
That's true.
So it's 5:17 p.m. Sierra and Ben are talking. They're having a lovely little conversation about how much Sierra loves Sabrina and, like, how in tune emotionally Sabrina is. And speaking of emotionally in tune people, someone untuned comes over, and it's West, and he sits right next to Sierra and brings a hot girl down on his lap, to which Ben is like, what the fuck is he doing?
Ben's face in this is everything.
He literally
is like, what? And then he's, like, so ashamed. He has his, like, hand over his mouth during this entire scene.
And you might think maybe Wes didn't see her, but no, Wes says to the hot girl, I used to date the girl sitting behind you. And the girl says, should I get up? And Wes says, who cares?
That was insane. I think it's worse if you see her
and dismiss
acknowledge it to the girl and keep it moving. This is exactly how it's going with Amanda, though. To be honest, it's a mirror to that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And West has his hand on this girl's back, which is right in front of Sierra. And Ben's pissed. Ben's like, are you fucking kidding? Like, you could have done this in a private room somewhere, but you like had to sit right here and do
right
it
next to her.
Yeah, for sure. So it's 5:27 p.m. Ben's upset for Sierra, and Wes is trying to be like really cool about it, but Sierra's like, listen, he tries to be friends with me, and like he does this is crazy. And then Wes and this girl make out, which gets Sierra and Ben, they're like, goodbye, we're fucking out.
No, I'm out of here now. I wish Sierra would have gotten up sooner, to be honest. It's not her job to like navigate around Wes being a dick, but
she doesn't have to deal. You don't have to deal with it.
I would not have sat there like, we're done. We're not friends. Do not speak to me. We're going back to season 9, episode 1, Sierra, of like, get the fuck out of my life.
So Sierra says it's weird because and I agree with her. In a way, Wes doesn't owe her anything, right? Like, if Wes wants to date a bunch of people, he is fully able to do that.
He owes her respect, though.
Well, that's what she says. She says that, she would never do that to him. She'd never, like, sit in front of him and make out with a different guy. So, like, the crux of her whole issue is that he doesn't see her. And so for him to sit in front of her and make out with a different girl, he doesn't even physically see her, like emotionally, mentally, like he doesn't see her in any way. And that's just like,
he did see her, like that's how gross it is.
Yeah, and he didn't care.
No,
he didn't care. And it's the respect. If you want to make out with this girl that you paid a summer house to be in, go upstairs to your private room, lock the door, go to the bathroom like everyone does, and make out, right? Fine. But for you to actively sit there and be like, who cares that I dated her?
Because last season, he threw a tantrum all season that Sierra would not give him the time of day on a friendship level. You finally earned that back, and this is how you treat her? Get the fuck out of here. She does not deserve any of this. But especially from you. Like, you have done so much. I'm just tired of people being like, oh, they dated 2 years ago. It wasn't even that serious. Da-da-da-da. No, it's about all the little things in between. It's how he crushed her even after the reunion with that article. It's about how he was pissed and felt so entitled to her friendship then in season 9. They do earn it back. And then he's playing with her all season just to make out with somebody in front of her. No, you are actually a bad person. Like, I am so embarrassed.
It's that he begged for her friendship, and then your friendship's going to be different than your friendship with Jesse or Kyle or Bailey, right? Like, any of those people you haven't dated, you haven't had feelings with. So yeah, sit in front of them, make out with a girl. But this is someone you had feelings with, right? You wanted the friendship. There is a boundary and a level of respect that you show this person to say, hey, you know, it'd be really hurtful if I did this thing to them. I'm not going to do that. In the same way you were upset when Jesse like made a joke about making out with Sierra, right? Because that would cross a line. That's not respectful. But you can do this to Sierra?
Yeah.
That's like crazy.
Because they've waffled back and forth too in their feelings. He like touches her every time she's drunk. Lindsay and Carl are able to move on and date in front of each other because they have never gone back. That is, you know, wall of China in between them now. Whereas Wes and Sierra like are dabbling in and out of like their feelings for each other. At least he's playing with hers. It sounds like Wes does not have anything for her, which is gross. So leave her the fuck alone. If you want to do this shit in front of her face, leave her alone.
Wes has shown he has feelings for her. He was upset that Jesse would want to kiss her.
That and the conversation with Ben, the
conversation with Ben. I love hanging out with her. Even if you don't have romantic feelings, there is still something there. So you can't show a little bit of respect. You don't think that's also on her end? Because let me tell you, I think if Sierra did make out with a hot dude in front of Wes, he would be kind of upset.
I agree. But he wants to siphon off all of the good things from her, and he doesn't want to invest or care anything back. It's gross.
Yep. So moving on, Jesse, he's talking to some girls from Rhode Island, but he's not really flirting like he usually flirts because he's actually been dating Maggie, who's crazy because she drinks a drink when a bug's in a drink for 3 weeks.
Wait, why did I think Maggie was in that group and he was saying that he didn't like Maggie? Did I read that wrong?
No, I got the vibe he didn't like Maggie because then I don't know if Maggie was in this group. Okay. But he goes forward to say, like, if the right person comes along, he won't be distracted by like girls and wanting to party and go out. Like but in his mind, per All Boys, which we just saw with Ben, you won't want to party if you have a good girl to date, which is not true. You just won't want to flirt and hook up with other women if you're into another girl. So I think what Jesse's getting at is he feels off because he's trying to be a good guy because he's been dating crazy Maggie for a little bit, but like, he's not really into her because he still wants to flirt with these girls. And that's his, like, which also I don't think is a good, you could want to flirt with other people. It's like how respectful you are.
Jesse genuinely has a flirty personality that I think him, like, in a friendly flirting way, like, isn't bad. It's that last summer when he was with Lexi, he was like hardcore flirting with Sierra, like actually flirting with Sierra.
He was saying, would you hook up with me, basically? Like, there's a respectful way.
Yeah.
So, like, I also think Jesse just hasn't learned that. Or Ben, because he also was like, I'm going to be a good boy and say
so
it.
True.
I think, honestly, this sounds crazy, and I know it's been, like, 10 plus years. But Kyle, like, he can do the flirt and talk to other people. And, like, but him and Amanda have also established this thing with them, right? Like, she knows that's who Kyle is, and, like, they've been together, and he did cheat on her. But, like, in a way, they've moved on with it.
I'm sure there's some inappropriateness, but he does have a version, at least for sure, we've seen him at the parties, where he is able to be an independent person and go out to the clubs. He stays out too late, but at least in the Summer House realm of their world, there is a version that it does work. You don't have to lock yourself completely down.
On the show, there's a version where it works. Off the show, it does not work. Yeah. Okay, so this party is all women, which Dara is like, I love an all-woman party. And her friend is like, that's because you're fucking dating someone.
So true.
Because, like, yeah, I hypothetically love an all-girl party, but when I see other people hooking up with guys, I'm like, where's mine, you know?
That's the thing. I love an all-girl party because right now I'm not pursuing or looking for a guy. So, like, I want to hang out with cool people, and that's usually women.
Yeah, but, like, the minute I want to date someone, this fucking sucks.
This is a nightmare.
But Dara feels like her and KJ will be official soon. And then we cut to Bailey and KJ, who are talking literally right across the pool from them.
No. Like,
no, next to the pool. Yeah. Yes. And Bailey's like, hey, are you going to make your relationship official? And KJ's like, I don't know. It seems like added pressure. And Bailey's like, no, yeah, things change when there's a label. And KJ's like, yeah, I'm just scared of like getting hurt and jumping in too quick. So we're on different pages a little.
Yeah, but I think KJ's fighting it because he said he didn't want to be a lover boy. So I think he feels like he needs to be single on this show, because that is a big thing for the Summer House producers, is being single in the cast, because I think they want to watch you date on TV, not date somebody at home. So I think he's really trying hard to be something he's not, rather than just like letting it flow.
I agree. He wants to make it official, but he's like, no, I don't think
I'm gonna be chill.
Yeah, I'm chill, okay? I don't want a girlfriend. Okay, so then, Wes is making out with his girl, and Ben and Sabrina are staring at him. And Ben's like, can you play it cool? And Sabrina's like, no, because I'll kill for Sierra.
I don't get this. You met her a week and a half ago. No. Get a grip.
Sabrina is sending daggers. And then Amanda's like, you know what? I'm going to sit down with them. And I was like, this is weird too. It was weird when Sabrina did. It would have been weird if anyone did this. She walks over and she goes, hey guys, can I join? And I went, no, no one should join.
I don't care how inappropriate this is. I find this weird to go up to a couple and insert yourself and to like dictate how they're gonna be and involve yourself in that.
Because then Amanda has the second most awkward conversation I've ever seen her have. She's like, yeah, what are you guys doing after this? My husband, the DJ, is playing at Common Ground. And she says it exactly like that.
I know. I was like, okay, I don't agree with Kyle's DJ-ness, but like, you're kind of being a bitch now about him being a DJ. Like, this is already preset. And like, why are you shading him to this rando girl?
And also, yeah, what is this? Hey, you should come out with us or whatever. What was that? It was so performative and weird.
Because the thing is we don't want Sierra to have to deal with this. So why are you inviting this girl to our summer house outing?
It was all weird. And this girl goes, I think we're going to Surf Lodge. Which you know what? I don't know who this girl is, but I got good energy when she went, we're going to Surf Lodge. That was funny.
And then, like, should I get up? Your ex is behind me. She was actually doing it right.
He's like, nah. And she's okay. Yeah. Oh my God. So then Amanda gets up and she goes, okay, gotta go. Watch my butt as I walk away.
No.
You wouldn't even say this to your husband. What are you doing saying it to Wes and this random girl? I thought it was weirder. Me on Watch What Happens Live was like, that was really weird. She would say that to Wes. I thought it was weirder she would say that to the random girl. Right? Watch my ass as I walk away.
All of it's weird. I was thinking about this. Like, because I have a friend, I have two new friends. They're a couple. And I, like, met the guy first. We have the same type of humor, or like I find him when we're in group settings because like I just love hanging out with him. And then I met the girlfriend and she's great. And I've been thinking like, would I make, because I'm like closer with him, make any comments at all? And it's like, even in like a fun banter way, no. I've thought about so much about how much time I spend with both of them separately at the party together. When she walks in, I'm like, she smokes cigarettes and weed. I'm like, let's go smoke outside. I don't smoke, but I want to hang out with you. I think your boyfriend's great, but like, I don't value him more than you. I don't want him to interact with me like this. That's the only comparison I can think of this like Wes and Sierra stuff, because I genuinely enjoy having guy friends and having banter, but this is not it.
Well, I started thinking, would I ever tell one of my guy friends to look at my ass while I walk away? And I was like, maybe it's like
no,
not even.
I don't think you would.
But
I
then
don't think I would ever tell any of them to like watch me as I walk away unless I'm like flipping them off.
But then not in front of their girlfriends. I definitely wouldn't be like, watch my ass, you guys. Like that. I'm like it's a sister, weird. I feel like. I would say to my gay friend, and I'd be like, look at my ass. But never would I be like, watch it while I walk away. It was a very weird thing that happened.
Yes, in all aspects. Even if Wes was alone, weird. In the like,
it could have been Carl, and it would have been weird.
Like, but it makes it 20 times weirder that this is a rando girl.
Yeah, and it makes it weird that like you were going to break them up and like have them be less PDA, and this is where you got to. Was look at my ass.
And why are you the person to do this? In what world? I would never, Alicia, want you to go up to my ex-situationship that I've been bantering with and like have a conversation in any capacity like this. Not even the weird flirtiness, but like to try to like get him to stop making out with this girl. Like what?
It was all weird. And then Amanda goes by Ben and Sabrina and is like, oh my God, I just like totally broke them up.
Yeah, let's go to the other guy you're actually inappropriate with. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's do this again.
And then Sabrina's like, should I do that too? And I was like, no. What is happening?
They made me feel bad for Wes.
This is what happens when we're not in Biden's America anymore, okay? Things get crazy. So then Sabrina gets up and Ben's like, can you not?
Please
and
don't.
Amanda's like, that's a real girl's girl. And I was like, no. You both are on drugs. Like, what are you thinking? And Sabrina goes up to Wes and goes, hey, Wes, Ben has, well, first she's like, I want to get to know you both. And I was like, who wants to get to know this random girl? And also, Sabrina, you just showed up.
You're a rando girl, Sabrina.
What are we doing?
Why do you need to get to know this other rando?
No one cares about Wes's rando girl, who later we find out its name is Ellie. What? Oh, hey, I want to get to know you both. And now's the time when you're going to build a relationship with Wes. This is your moment. So that was weird. And then she's like, hey, Wes, Ben has stuff to talk to you about. And Wes is like, right now? And Sabrina's like, yeah. And then she looks at the random girl and goes, let's go get water. What? And Ben also is like, I have nothing to talk to Wes about.
Yes. I will say that, like, getting Wes to go talk to one of the guys is the better way to break this up. But Sabrina, again, similar to Amanda, why are you the one doing this? It's weird that you feel this need to, like, get yourself involved. I don't like it. And then Sabrina looks
Sierra.
at Ben and goes, he's coming over to talk to you. And he's like,
About what? What do I say? And then she looks, random girl is A, either left there, or B, goes to get water with Sabrina.
They go inside. I think they go inside and it's like, neither of you belong to this house. Get the fuck out of here.
And why? If I was this random girl, I'd be like, no, I'm just going to go find my friends. What am I doing hanging out with you?
I will say Sabrina's was more effective because she did break them up.
No.
And I'm pretty sure this random girl decides to go home after this.
She does. Okay, so yeah, it's 6:31 p.m. The Wes's friend leaves, and then he passes out in the backyard. Mia, Sierra, and Amanda are upstairs, and Mia's like, Wes is so disrespectful for the shit he pulled. Like, Sierra, you never should have been nice to him. Like, Wes is back on my hit list. And then we find out that the rule is that if you fall asleep with your shoes on, someone's going to draw on your face. So Amanda takes it upon herself to draw on Wes's face, but he's up, so he just, like, wipes it away. And then KJ and Dara just go upstairs and excuse themselves, which I think is the smartest thing to do in this situation. And then
100%.
Ben and Sabrina go into the kitchen and make out. And Ben's like, hey, sorry, this is the stupidest. I'm with Sabrina on this. It's okay to laugh at what Ben says. So Ben says these past few weeks have been a huge transformational period for him. And Sabrina does laugh because she's like, what the fuck changed? And he's like, the relationship was going too fast and I didn't know how to handle it, but now I do. And they're like, okay, so they're good.
Again, what changed though? Just a month away from her?
Yeah.
You're back in action? You're ready now?
He made out with Bailey and said, oh, I'm pro Sabrina. Like, how rude.
Do you need a makeout and 1 month break every year to be able to, like, confidently be in this relationship?
So then outside, Wes says, if he didn't invite anyone today, this party wouldn't have existed. And everyone's like, oh, thanks, Wes, thanks, Wes. And Amanda says, yeah, thank God you invited that girl that you were making out with all night, right? Like, thank goodness. And Wes says in an interview that he's been trying really hard not to do anything wrong for 2 years. But Sierra's been cuddling Jesse for the past 2 years. And this was maybe like a drunk oops, but no, like... And he says they haven't even had a conversation. He doesn't know where Sierra lies.
I can't with this. Why do you have to try so hard to be a good person? Why is it so taxing on you?
Why is it hard to be respectful? You could have made out with this girl, just not in front of Sierra.
It's not black and white. Those are the only two options. Struggle, never kiss someone for the rest of your life, or make out right next to Sierra.
Remember last summer when he did sleep with a girl, but he did it outside of the house?
Yep.
That's kind of what you do. You just kind of remove it from the people involved.
You don't throw it in her face.
You have a room. You have a bathroom. Hey, let's go more private, right? But
and you also don't flirt with her like Sierra the night before. Yeah. If you do not want her, leave her alone.
Yeah, but what do we know? What do we know, right? It has to be really hard because he keeps fucking struggling.
It's so hard to, like, be respectful for 2 straight years.
Wes can't seem to do it. It must be really difficult. So he knows that the group, he says to the group that he's been trying to protect his relationship with Sierra, whatever it is. And Amanda says, they have been making progress. So why, like, at this small, intimate party, does he have to do what he did?
That's so true. Like, there's 50 people here. You couldn't have done it when we have 500.
And Jesse's like, hey, could you see where Amanda's coming from, dude? And Kyle then chimes in. He's like, actually, that's not fair to say. And Amanda is like, don't pick this battle, my guy. Yeah. Do not. So Amanda says all she's saying is that if Wes wants to make progress in the relationship with Sierra, there's a level of respect that you give someone when you live with them.
You do not get to have both. You do not get to have her friendship, have her care, have her companionship, her positive attitude towards you, and get to fuck around in her face. You have to choose one. So which one is it?
And fuck around in her face. Just fuck around privately. It is not that hard.
No.
No one wants to watch you make out. Let's start there, okay?
Good
Not just
point.
Sierra. No one wants to see it. So why don't you remove it from all of us so we don't get eyesores looking at it? Please.
Please.
Oh my God. So then Kyle says Amanda is being unreasonable. So Amanda just storms off. And Carl tells Kyle to stop because he's like, this isn't the fight.
No.
And Amanda doesn't understand because Kyle's been Sierra's biggest advocate, and now, as soon as Amanda's sticking up for Sierra, then Kyle has to take Wes's side, which I don't think is it, but I see where she's coming from.
But I'm like, okay, let's get your marital, like, squabbles out of this situation, because they're not related.
Out of my face.
Did you see Kyle online say that he didn't, like, have, quote-unquote, all the information, and after, like, seeing everything, he feels differently?
Yes, because later... I mean, in the conversation he has with Wes at some point, he says, like, if you did it in front of her, that's fucked up. I think Kyle thought he just did it in the house and everyone was mad.
Like, he has interest in someone,
Yeah. Okay, so Amanda finds Sierra and Mia, and they crawl out into the balcony so they can listen in. They can't hear anything, unfortunately.
I think basically, they can a little bit.
At first, they're like, we can't hear what Wes is saying. But Kyle says, like, he loves Sierra, but, like, Wes, how long can you really go without dating anyone? That's kind of where Kyle's coming from, is, like, he can't date anyone. But then Kyle says, if you did it in the same chair as Sierra, then that's kind of fucked up for you to do.
Yes, it is.
And Wes is like, I didn't see where she was. And Bailey's like, no, I agree. If you did it in the same chair, that's, like, really fucked up. So this is where Kyle says, I don't know what happened.
What actually happened.
If you did do it in the way you did it, that is fucked up.
Oh, this is so bad because, okay, I'm starting to see that Wes gets absolutely hammered, does these chaotic things, like wants to be all up on some girl. You know, when we played Spin the Bottle, it was Sierra. At this party, it was Wes. So, like, I do genuinely believe he was hammered and, quote unquote, doesn't know what he was doing. But that's not an excuse. Stop drinking so much that you can't handle yourself.
My thing is, and I understand getting browned out, blacked out, whatever, but you in the moment are, like, in the moment you kind of have an idea of what you're doing. I've been blacked out plenty of times. Even if I don't remember, when I'm in that moment, I can kind of see myself from, like, a high version, like I'm looking down at myself.
Him say, I know she's right there.
He actively said, she is right there and I'm still choosing to do this in her face.
Yeah.
He's
trying to pass this off of, like, I was hammered, I didn't know what I was doing, it was a mistake. Yeah. Stop drinking so much then. Get a hold of your own actions.
I almost understand more drunkenly, like, making out with someone, like, cheating, right? Because you're just making out, and I can see a drunk make out where you're like, I don't even know who I'm making out with at this point. But you actively look at this girl and say, my ex is behind you, let's still make out in her face.
She asks if you should stop too.
And you say no.
I don't care.
Yeah, so that's fucked up. So Wes says it would be a thing if Sierra was flirting with him, but she only flirts with him, like, once every 48 hours. And everyone is like, dude, that's kind of a lot.
Because you only 48 hours?
You only spend, like, 72 hours in this house, maybe less. So every 48 hours in this house, she's flirting with you? That's kind of a lot.
Every 4 months, I would be like, okay, yeah. You know, like, that's just a fun time. You don't owe her a lot. 48 hours? And you're initiating most of it.
Kyle goes, oh, I get it now. Like, Kyle in real time was like, oh, yeah, okay, what you did was kind of fucked up. Yeah. And then Jesse, my favorite part, sees the girls up on the balcony, but doesn't rat them out.
I saw somebody, like, clipped that part, and apparently he does the zipper lips, and Lindsay commented on it and said, I think Jesse posted it, and Lindsay commented on it and said, who are you doing the zipper lips to? Like, up to the girls, saying, like, oh, I won't say that you're out here, or to West and the guys being like, stop talking now.
Hub House is gonna clock it. Hub House is gonna clock it. I
wish
love her.
Lindsay was at this weekend because, boy, she would have scorched the earth.
She would have dropped kicked Wes. As soon as he leans in for that kiss, her foot hits his nose. She's like, absolutely. She grabs that girl by her hair and goes, we have no beef, but you get out of my house. Yeah. We have beef now. Oh, the scariest person in the world. I love her. They're like, let's change the mood, whatever. But then, like, we go upstairs and see Sierra, Mia, and Amanda have a chat. And Mia's like, let's all take a deep breath. But Mia's really pissed because she's like, this shouldn't happen. But she also feels for Sierra. And she's like, this is not a normal situation. Like, you shouldn't have to share a house with your ex and watch him move on. And Sierra says there's a reason why Wes was on probation and now he's back in jail. Like, she had a feeling why she didn't want to be friends with him, and this is why he can't be a friend to her.
Yep.
And that's
Clocked it in real time, which is, like, so crazy to know where they're at now. Like, they seemed in an okay place where I think, like, Sierra got to an okay place of like she can be on a cast with him.
Yeah.
They don't need to be friends. It's easier when you're not living with him. But then he goes and plays in her face even harder. This is light work in this episode compared to what he's doing in real time.
And then they somehow got over it because they were at the Super Bowl together, having fun.
Yeah.
Everyone
he was
like
actively lying to her.
Yeah, give me a timeline. Andy better ask the real question.
Give me a timeline.
Ooh. Okay, so next time Scott is coming to the Hamptons, but he's a guy's guy, so I think we have to kill him now. Amanda doesn't come. Ben and Kyle have a heart-to-heart, and then Sierra and West have a conversation. So, Meredith, it's your turn to go first. Fun and not fun.
Not fun is West. I mean,
Okay.
It has to be.
Wow, that was a good one. I want to like change it up a little, but like I don't.
You can
You know
pick
what? I know. Okay, I'm gonna do it because like
I think it's deserving of a double not fun.
You know what? I'm doing Amanda because that apology to Sabrina was so weird. And then her conversation with Wes, if I could not fund Sabrina, I would, but she's not a cast member, so I'm gonna leave her out. But no, Amanda. And this has nothing to do with Scamanda. This was just a terrible episode.
Part is if like I kind of wish we didn't know about Scamanda because I would have fallen off of the West train immediately in this episode anyways and looked at Amanda sideways. I don't think as much as I did because now we're like reading into things harder with Amanda, but I still would have been like, that was weird.
Yeah, but then like if we are reading into the Scamanda of it, that conversation where Sierra got emotional about how much she loves you. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you for that.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Okay, you're fun?
This is tough because like this is just full of chaos this episode, but I gotta give it to Jesse Solomon.
Yeah.
I mean, even though his party was lame, he is the voice of the audience, which I never saw coming.
You know what? I loved Jesse Solomon. I will pick differently because that's why we do the back and forth of it all. But Jesse Solomon was my top. I think though I'm gonna give it to Bailey.
Okay.
I think I really like her with Carl, and I think it was really cute how she was like aware of what he was feeling, and she was like, I don't want to overwhelm him with my feelings for him, which I think is so cute because I do like them. They're dating in real time, right? I asked this last week.
I don't think they are. I personally don't. She was just on his podcast, and he asked her about first dates. I mean, and that could have just been in a general sense, like, because she said that she can get drunk sometimes and trauma dump, which, like, relatable. But I don't get personally, I don't get the vibes that they are dating. If they are, I wouldn't be shocked. I just don't think that they are.
I hope they kiss at the reunion and tell us for sure.
Ooh.
If you're dating at the reunion, you should kiss, including Wes and Amanda. Let's see it so we can all hate it.
I don't want that.
Let's see it so we can all hate it.
That's going to make my brain go haywire because I already can't comprehend this, that watching them kiss. If I was a robot, if I was a computer, I would start smoking.
No, I can kind of see it, I think.
No, I don't want to see it.
I mean, it's gross, but it's similar to when I see a MAGA hat. Like, I don't like it, but I can see it. It just disgusts me viscerally.
I just had a visual of me kissing somebody with a MAGA hat. Not just really.
Never. I don't kiss Republicans. Let's make it clear. Also, I know this is like a side note, but I did want to mention, I forgot to say this, but it's coming back. Very relatable that January 6th happened and Carl went on a bender. I feel that is a Democratic king, if anything, you know?
No,
I know it was problematic, but a Democratic king amongst us, a liberal king.
Because I almost said had the same day, but I did not go on a bender like he went on a bender because he started doing drugs, but I started drinking that day. Like that's why his book I think was really hard, is like I saw moments where like I understood and saw how he got to where he got. I just haven't crossed some of the lines he has crossed. And so like I still highly recommend Carl Radke's book. It is the book that I get the most.
A liberal queen, and he is a liberal king, and I love that for this show because I'm done with Southern Charm and their bullshit.
We're making it through.
Okay, perfect. Well, I really enjoyed this episode, even though it was yuck. Absolutely. It was a lot of fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Do all the things I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. And with that, love ya.
Thanks for joining. Bye.